You know, ASTA Services has been ensuring the well-being of children, adolescents, and their families for over 50 years through programs that prevent and treat emotional problems and facilitate healthy development. They've treated over 6,000 children and families annually. And now they have a new mental health center right here in the Bronx. And here to tell us more is Joan DiBlasi, Assistant Executive Director, and Zory Wentt, Program Director. We welcome you guys to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not going to say it. Okay. But you have this new facility opening up.
We do.
Yes. Tell us about that.
Well, we're very fortunate that we have a brand new facility on Shakespeare Avenue in the Bronx. And Zory is the program director there.
All right.
And we provide mental health services to children and their families. We are a very progressive organization in that we use a strengths-based approach to treating families. Usually when you go to a mental health center or you go for counseling, the first question is always, what are your problems? And then hours are spent on your problems. And we spend about a minute, why are you here? And tell me what works in your family.
And
tell me your strengths.
Who qualifies, Zory, to be a part of this center?
Everyone that wants help.
How do they get involved?
They can come by to the clinic. We actually have an open access policy where anybody can drop by between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. and they can get seen that same day, or they can they can make an appointment with us.
Yeah.
So everyone qualifies as long as you're looking for the help.
Joan, what medical conditions affect children in our neighborhoods?
Well, the Bronx is like so many neighborhoods and communities throughout the country. And throughout the country, we know that between 12 and 15% of the population is in need of mental health services at any point in time. And the Bronx reflects that. We have children with learning disabilities. We have adolescents who are suffering from suicidal ideation. We have parents who don't know how to converse with their children. We have a fair amount of children who are suffering from depression. And we also treat a lot of children who are in the foster care system, children who have been separated from their families.
Yes. And how do we treat them? I mean, it's one thing to put a Band-Aid on it, but how do you get to the root of this and helps, you know, wipe it out before it gets to that point?
Well, by beginning with the strengths, we identify the family resources and strengths that exist within the family. And we identify ways in that family system. Who can help? Who can a child talk to within a family? What are the child's interests? And then we move to identifying the problem in the context. Usually it's communication. Often the problem is related to school failure, so our staff will go to the school. They'll meet with the teachers. They'll suggest better ways for the teachers.
And this all helps that student to cope a little bit better in society.
To stay in school, to not be targeted.
Exactly.
So what are some of the treatments there at the facility?
Oh goodness, we work mostly on a lot of cognitive behavioral therapies, where depending on their diagnosis and so forth, we do provide targeted therapies for that. There's verbal, there's family therapy, there's play therapy. We also participate a lot in something that's called PCIT, which is the Parent-Child Interactive Therapy, where we teach the parent how to...
So you bring the parent in also?
Absolutely. The parent is essential to the treatment. The parent comes in and we teach the parent to actively ignore certain behaviors, and it's actually a wonderful, wonderful treatment.
So you bring the kids and adults in?
We bring the
together.
Parents in, absolutely.
What kind of special procedures are there for the kids versus adults? You also treat adults? Of course, you work with the whole family.
Well, actually, we only open cases on children. And then we treat parents collaterally.
To teach them how to deal with the child.
Exactly, exactly. And that's an innovative model. That there are very few children's only clinics in New York City. There's about one in every borough.
Yes.
But we also use family therapy, and that involves the parent and the child, as well as it could be whoever is family constellation. It could be a grandparent,
Yes.
an older sibling, a role model for the child.
Now, Zory, you mentioned something about going out to the schools and dealing with the, how does that work?
Well, actually, the High Bridge Clinic has satellite clinics in schools. So we are in the schools and we provide treatment in the schools, so it makes it easier for the child not to have to come to our main clinic. So if we have a child that doesn't have a satellite clinic in their school, if a teacher has a problem or if there's an issue, our clinicians are so dedicated they actually will go to the school and speak to the teacher, they'll speak to the counselor. We have many meetings, and it's all for the sake of the child.
How does a school become a part of that?
We partner with a lot of the community schools in the area.
So schools can give you a call and say, hey, we want to be a part of that
Exactly.
program?
We have a meeting.
And it's backed by the Board of Education? Department of Education?
Absolutely. We actually, part of our, part of the High Bridge Clinic is that we also do, we're part of Clinic Plus, which means that we do screenings, mental health screenings in all schools. And if a parent consents and a child is, scores high on this screening, we offer the treatment.
Do you think a lot of parents are reluctant to getting involved in such programs because of the stigma involved with it?
Yes.
Tell us about
Yes,
that.
a great question.
Yes.
Yes, people feel stigmatized, kids feel stigmatized, they're called nut jobs, they're called a whole host of names. And I think that's one of the biggest problems that keeps parents
A lot of people from getting the help that they need.
from getting help,
Yes.
including adults. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big problem. And I think when parents can actually get the courage to take that step, they'll find that most of the clinics are welcoming. They're looking for ways to help people cope.
But what do you tell people that have that feeling? Oh, I don't want my child to, they're going to think he's crazy for the rest of, he's going to be marked for the rest of his life. What do you tell parents?
We do a lot of education. We really do work with the parents, with the parent coordinators in the schools, and we try to do a lot of education. If we do have a parent that has those concerns, we just speak to them. We have a parent advocate that has been through the system, and she will go and speak with them as well.
Okay, so we have this brand new facility right here. Give us the address, all the information, so anybody with this sort of situation or problem and wants to receive help, they can call or go to.
Right.
It's Astor at High Bridge, 1419 Shakespeare Avenue, Bronx, New York, 10452. Our phone number is 718-732-7080. And all is welcome.
All right, thank you so much. Astor Children's Mental Health Center, Joan DiBlasi, Assistant Executive Director, Astor Children's Mental Health Center, and Zory Wentt.
Thank you.
Well, you came. Thank you so much for being here. Director of Children's Mental Health Services at the center.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Come back and give me some more good results and all of that stuff.
Absolutely. We will.